Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at songs that became devastating following real-life tragedies.
Inside my heart is breaking.
Juicy, the Notorious B.I.G. A classic tale of going from rags to riches, Juicy is a song of triumph.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper and heavy D up in the limousine.
However, the Notorious B.I.G.'s celebration of his rise to the top after a lifetime of struggle is forever altered by what happened just under 3 years later. On March 9, 1997, the rapper-born Christopher Wallace was shot 4 times while a passenger in a car.
I never thought it could happen, this rapping stuff. I was too used to packing gats and stuff.
He was pronounced dead shortly after, at age 24. In the time since his murder, Biggie has been rightfully regarded as one of the greatest rappers in history, and Juicy is arguably his signature song. But its joy is greatly impacted by what would eventually happen.
And if you don't know, now you know.
A Fond Farewell, Elliott Smith. Released posthumously after the singer-songwriter's tragic death at age 34, Elliott Smith's final album, From a Basement on the Hill, is devastating.
It's now black and white, 'cause you took apart a picture that wasn't right.
Like much of Smith's catalog, it addresses substance use disorder and mental health troubles in ways as poetic as they are painful.
A dying man in a living room, whose shadow paces the floor.
On this standout track, Smith reckons with the cost of trying to numb himself through life. But in the chorus, he stresses that his life is not actually his.
This is not my life, it's just a fond farewell to a friend.
And titling it A Fond Farewell makes it especially gut-wrenching. While he left our world more than 20 years ago, his craft and unapologetic honesty has kept him in our hearts.
Fond farewell to a friend.
Goodbye to Love, the Carpenters. During their time, the Carpenters were dismissed by elitists as making music that was overly sentimental and insubstantial.
I'll say goodbye to love.
But while siblings Karen and Richard Carpenter were promoted with a wholesome, uncomplicated public image, what was happening behind the scenes was far more serious.
No one ever cared if I should live or die.
Karen's issues with her body and eating became clear by the mid-70s, with her gaunt appearance causing concern. More than a decade before she passed, the band recorded Goodbye to Love.
There are no tomorrows for this heart of mine.
While Karen didn't write the lyrics, her singular voice carries every word. Perhaps the most haunting moment of the song comes early when she laments about no one caring whether or not she lives. Though the song might not directly be about her struggles, it doesn't make it any less poignant.
I'll say goodbye to love.
Dreaming of You, Selena. The queen of Tejano music, Selena Quintanilla Perez's legacy has not diminished.
Late at night when all the world is sleeping.
Just 2 years short of her tragic death, a biopic about the artist starring Jennifer Lopez and made with the cooperation of her family was released. In the film's closing moments, we hear her moving ballad Dreaming of You.
And I wish on a star that somewhere you are.
This is interrupted by news of her murder at the hands of Yolanda Saldivar, the president of her fan club. The song continues playing over mourning and images of the real-life singer.
I'll be dreaming of you tonight.
It's a conclusion all but guaranteed to make you weep, one that made this track forever an emotional one.
I'll be dreaming.
Perfect Circle, Godspeed, Mac Miller. Mac Miller's struggles with substance use disorder wasn't a topic he shied away from addressing in his music.
I came for whoever is in charge. Just go and get yourself a weapon and a guard.
In this nearly 8-minute two-parter from his 2015 album, Go OD AM, Miller talks about concerns over his well-being, including the possibility of his death via overdose.
They don't want me to OD and have to talk to my mother, tell her they could have done more to help me, and she'd be crying saying that she'd do anything to have me back.
Sadly, that's what happened less than 3 years later. Beyond the foreboding lyrics, Perfect Circle, Godspeed is also a remarkable showcase of Miller's talents as an artist and performer.
It's a problem, I need to wake up. Before one morning I don't wake up. You make your mistakes never make you.
But knowing what was to come, it's difficult to appreciate it as a piece of music and not a cry for help.
Opened up my eyes, I'm finally awake. Good morning.
Rehab, Amy Winehouse.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no.
Another song about an artist's struggle to fend off their demons. It was all but impossible to avoid rehab after it dropped. And the more it was played, the more apparent it was that Amy Winehouse had gone through a lot.
There's nothing you can teach me.
A soulful and endlessly catchy song about her refusal to get treatment, Rehab is a testament to Winehouse's powerhouse presence.
I don't ever want to drink again.
That she could tackle such a complicated subject with such conviction is exactly why she became a global sensation, and the song took home 3 Grammys, including Record of the Year and Song of the Year. Though Winehouse did eventually check into a rehab facility in 2008, her challenges persisted. She passed away from alcohol poisoning in 2011 at age 27.
Just try to make me go to rehab.
Jeepster, T-Rex. The second single released from T-Rex's second album, Jeepster captures the glam rock legends in top-notch form.
You're so sweet, you're so fine.
It's a hooky song in which frontman Mark Bolan likens himself and the object of his affection to vehicles. If you aren't familiar with Bolan's story, it might seem like a silly novelty and not much more.
You slide so good, with bones so fair.
Despite the song's carefree vibe, Bolan feared dying in a car accident and never tried for his license as a result.
'Cause you're my babe. You're my love.
In 1977, Bolan was a passenger in a car driven by his romantic partner, singer Gloria Jones. She hit a fence post before colliding into a tree, resulting in Bolan's death at age 29.
Girl, I'm just a jeepster for your love.
Floating in the Fourth, Frightened Rabbit. As the frontman and primary songwriter of the Scottish indie rock band Frightened Rabbit, Scott Hutchinson crafted lyrics so personal and evocative that listening feels like reading someone's very private diary.
So you just step out of the front of my house.
In this intense song from the band's second album, Hutchinson talks about contemplating taking his own life, with the title referring to Scotland's River Forth.
And the door shut, I was vacuum packed, shrink wrapped out of air.
Hutchinson died tragically in 2018. Hutchinson disappeared and his body was found on the banks of the Firth of Forth, an estuary that the River Forth flowed into.
I'll steer myself through chopping waves.
His family later confirmed he had taken his own life, and this song in particular took on even heavier significance.
Gather up all your loose change.
Wake Me Up, Avicii. The lyrics and vocals from this global EDM smash come from singer Aloe Black, who's uncredited.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart.
But even if Swedish DJ Avicii's voice isn't heard during Wake Me Up, his 2018 death added a new layer of depth to this propulsive song.
I tried carrying the weight of the world, but I only have 2 hands.
Black sings pleadingly to be woken up on an unspecified future date, when he's older and better able to handle life's challenges.
Oh, wake me up when it's all over.
Avicii grappled with mental health struggles, and he ended up taking his own life at 28. While listening to Wake Me Up now may bring back memories of summer 2013, it's also a painful reminder of an incredible talent gone too soon.
I didn't know I was lost. I didn't know.
Whatever, Our Lady Peace. There's no apparent tragedy associated with this song and the members of Canadian alt-rock outfit Our Lady Peace. But it has still taken on some very disturbing connotations. A non-album song, Whatever was the entrance song of WWE wrestler Chris Benoit. In 2007, Benoit killed his wife and son before taking his own life in one of the darkest sagas in the history of pro wrestling. Our Lady Peace hadn't regularly performed the song in the years leading up to this tragedy and even claimed they'd never again perform it. Though they did bring it back into rotation for their 2025 tour, we can't blame anyone for not being able to handle listening to this song.
Black Star, David Bowie.
Something happened on the day he died. Spirit rose a meter.
The Starman himself shocked the world by announcing Black Star, his first studio album since 2013's The Next Day. But in typical Bowie fashion, the biggest twist was yet to come. Black Star, the album, was released on January 8th, 2016, and Bowie died on January 10th, merely 2 days later.
How many times does an angel fall?
Having kept his battle with liver cancer a secret known only to those closest to him, Black Star's title song hits differently now that we know the circumstances of the singer's death. Pay particular attention to its cryptic, morbid lyrics, which seemingly allude to Bowie finding peace and tranquility in his final days. This calls to mind Leonard Cohen's You Want It Darker, also recorded shortly before the beloved Canadian singer-songwriter's 2016 death.
Hey, nay, nay, I'm ready, my lord.
Scared of the Dark, Ty Dolla $ign and Lil Wayne featuring XXXTentacion.
I'm not scared of the dark. I'm not running.
Commissioned for the soundtrack to Sony Pictures' Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Grammy winner Dwayne Lil Wayne Carter teased a special guest on Scared of the Dark, his collaboration with Ty Dolla $ign.
I'm not scared.
That guest, upon the film's release, was revealed to be late rapper XXXTentacion. Born José Onfroy, the controversial artist lost his life in 2018 after a botched robbery attempt. Originally intended for the Bad Baby song Trust Me, Onfroy's verse combines typical hip-hop bravado with the dark vulnerability he was known for in his lifetime. This verse, combined with the song's empowering chorus, now makes for difficult listening.
Okay, let's do this.
I'm Not Gonna Miss You, Glen Campbell and the Wrecking Crew.
I'm still here, but yet I'm gone.
Legendary country singer Campbell, who was open about his worsening Alzheimer's disease in his final years, made it clear that he wouldn't die without a fight ahead of his 2017 passing. I'm Not Gonna Miss You is emblematic of the icon's refusal to give in. Recorded for and appearing prominently in the 2014 documentary Glen Campbell, I'll Be Me.
You're never gonna see it in my eyes.
Nominated for the Academy Award for Best Original Song and winning the Grammy for Best Country Song, this cinematic, John Lennon-esque ballad finds Campbell coming to terms with his impending death. The last song Campbell ever recorded, I'm Not Gonna Miss You, is a simple, gorgeous, and heartbreaking send-off to a long and storied career.
I'm not gonna miss you.
Grace, Jeff Buckley.
I'm not afraid to die.
Some of the greatest artists of all time, like Vincent van Gogh or Buckley's fellow troubadour Nick Drake, went underappreciated in their lifetimes. It seems fair to say that Buckley falls into this category of artists as well.
I believe
Buckley once referred to the titular song from his 1994 album Grace, the only album he released during his life, as being about not feeling so bad about your own mortality when you have true love.
The multi-talented musician's plainly spoken acceptance of his mortality and his seeming lack of fear or apprehension about exiting this mortal coil read very differently after his 1997 drowning, aged only 30, leaving mourning listeners to wonder what could have been. Nutshell, Alice in Chains. When asked which song most reminded him of late Alice in Chains frontman Lane Staley, the band's bassist Mike Starr responded with Nutshell, citing its poetic, vulnerable lyrics as the reason. Listening to the song, it becomes obvious as to why Starr, who passed away himself in 2011, made this particular selection.
And yet I fight this battle all alone.
This mellow grunge tune, written by Staley, details the singer's battle with his darkest feelings. Staley later died in 2002 following years of extreme substance use issues. It's no surprise then that Jerry Cantrell, the band's guitarist and alternate lead singer, now dedicates live performances of Nutshell to both of his fallen bandmates.
If I can be my own, I feel better there.
Freebird, Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Things just couldn't be the same.
It must be remembered that this nearly 10-minute Southern rock epic, despite its hard-charging sound and legendary guitar solos, is, at its heart, a heart-wrenching ballad about being unable to conform to life and its expectations.
'Cause I'm as free as I swear I am.
Written by Alan Collins and Ronnie Van Zant, the band's guitarist and lead singer respectively, Freebird's lyrics tell the first-person story of a nomad who simply can't overcome his unchanging nature, though certainly not without regrets and reservations. While Freebird is sad enough on its own, already dedicated by the band to the late Duane Allman, it became a retroactive tribute to Lynyrd Skynyrd band members, including singer Van Zant, who died in the 1977 plane crash that temporarily ended the band.
Spell sweet love, oh yeah.
Like a Stone, Audioslave. Chris Cornell, Audioslave's lead singer, was, and still is, widely regarded by fans and critics alike as one of rock music's greatest, most iconic voices. Despite this, Cornell was reportedly haunted by struggles with depression, drugs, and drink for the majority of his life, dating back to as early as his teen years. These struggles came to an end in May 2017, when the Soundgarden frontman was found lifeless following a concert in Detroit. While fans will point out that Cornell was no stranger to incorporating dark, highly personal themes into his music, Like a Stone stands out in his discography in terms of how plainly it expresses those themes. Morphine, Michael Jackson. One of the King of Pop's darkest, rawest, and heaviest tunes, the Nine Inch Nails-esque Morphine finds Jackson incorporating heavy guitars and distorted drums into his sound. Fittingly enough, too, Morphine is a bitter, angry, no-holds-barred account of Jackson's feelings regarding his fame and media speculation about his controversial personal life.
Relax, this won't hurt you. Before I put it in, close your eyes and count to 10.
The song's bridge and refrain detail Jackson's resorting to drug use as a means of numbing those feelings. The singer died in 2009 of acute propofol intoxication in what was later ruled an accidental homicide by Conrad Murray, Jackson's personal doctor. Listening in retrospect allows listeners a tragically prescient glimpse into Jackson's fragile mental state.
He's trying hard to convince her to give him more of what he had.
The show must go on. Queen.
Empty spaces, what are we living for? Abandoned places.
It goes without saying that Freddie Mercury was a rock star until the very end. Released just a month before Mercury's untimely death from complications of HIV/AIDS, The Show Must Go On, in the band's characteristically bombastic style, is a gloriously defiant screw you to the Grim Reaper.
The show must go on. The show must go on.
Written by Queen guitarist Brian May, the song does a magnificent job of capturing Mercury's indomitable spirit and interstellar charisma. His body ravaged by the disease even then, Mercury's bandmates were initially pessimistic that he would be able to pull off the vocal gymnastics it called for. In response, the rock god downed a shot of vodka and, according to May, immediately nailed it. Who else but Freddie?
Fairy tales of yesterday will grow but never die. I can fly.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Leave out all the rest. Linkin Park.
I dreamed I was missing. You were so scared.
A staple of the early 2000s nu metal scene, it can be argued that Linkin Park's success outside of that genre was due in part to lead singer Chester Bennington's soul-bearing, unflinching songwriting, as well as his powerhouse vocals. Phoenix, Arizona native Bennington took his own life in July 2017, 2 months after Chris Cornell's death. The two were reportedly close friends. Knowing that makes it difficult then to listen to Leave Out All the Rest from the band's 2007 album, Minutes to Midnight, without a teary eye by the end. A plaintive, heartfelt ballad, Leave Out All the Rest implores listeners to, as hard as it can feel, remember the good times.
Keep me in your memory. Leave out all the rest.
How does real-life tragedy affect how you hear certain songs? Let us know in the comments.